the government has made health insurance companies pay for contraception for women. This also covers preventative care such as breast screenings, cervical cancer screenings, and
breast pumps.
Breast pumps.
Breast pumps.
Yeah.
If you do, I don't know if people know. Have you ever seen that?
Yes, I've seen a breast pump.
Well, I mean,
I've never used one.
Have you ever seen it in action?
I have seen it in action. It's a little disturbing.
Yes, yes. I get news for you. If you're a new father and your wife is about to use a breast pump, leave the room.
Really? Are you a new father?
I was.
You were. Okay.
Yes.
And
still,
it freaked you out a
seared
little
in
bit?
my. Yeah. You don't want to. No.
It's just weird to have a machine attached to your body like that.
It's not. No.
It's not fun.
No.
Well, Steve King is very upset at the fact that health insurance companies will now cover birth control.
And you should know that most insurance companies already do this.
Mm-hmm.
Most insurance companies already include it as part of their plan. This is just making sure that if there are any gaps, it's going to be filled.
Right, exactly. Well, Steve King is actually really upset about it. And, of course, there are conservatives that have moral issues with it. But
with birth control.
With birth control. I know, which doesn't make any sense.
Well, they have
to
moral
me.
issues with sex, too.
They have moral issues with everything, okay? But anything that's sexual, anything that's normal and human, they have an issue with.
Right.
But I want to show you a video because he doesn't actually talk about his morality in this video. He gives other reasons why he thinks this contraception is going to be disastrous to the United States. Watch.
We have people that are single. We have people that are past reproductive age. We have priests that are celibate. All of them paying insurance premiums that cover contraceptives so that somebody else doesn't have to pay the full fare of that. And they've called it preventative medicine. Preventative medicine. Well, if you apply that preventative medicine universally, what you end up with is you've prevented a generation. Preventing babies from being born is not medicine. That's not constructive to our culture and our civilization. If we let our birth rate get down below the replacement rate, we're a dying civilization.
We are nowhere near being under the replacement rate. Nowhere near. In fact, in the past 10 years, the population in the United States alone, has increased by 10%. Overpopulation is a huge problem in the United States. But who cares? Who wants to stick to the facts?
Well, yeah, of course not. And, the other fact that he sort of did mention is not just, we have this situation where, single people who never use birth control and married people who are presumably past the reproductive age, and, of course, priests who have taken a vow of celibacy, they're going to be subsidizing because there is an infinitesimal amount of money because this cost is spread out amongst all of our premiums. They're going to be subsidizing this. That's unfair. Which I also want to say to those people who are getting cancer treatment, I don't have cancer. And so I don't want to be paying for anybody's cancer treatment. What about, it's completely unfair for people who don't get sick with their health insurance, because we know that 80% of healthcare costs are incurred by 20% of the population. The point is you just don't know who it is. And so I don't want to be paying, for Viagra. Apparently, some of my premium is involved in Viagra. In fact, I don't want to pay for anything that doesn't involve me. That is the Republican worldview right there. Then they're using it as an excuse, essentially, to carry water for their right-wing freaks.
That's a great point. That's a great point. And another thing is, if you don't pass this legislation, right, if you don't provide access to affordable or free birth control, what happens is you have so many unwanted pregnancies in the United States that the taxpayer ends up paying for. So in the United States alone, we spend $11 billion each year on helping women with unwanted pregnancies. So what about that? Are you concerned about taxpayer money going toward that?
Of course not. No. I mean, of course not. There's no consistency whatsoever. I mean, the bottom line, and this is probably the only legitimate argument, is that this is clearly this is a part of like a Sharia Sharia law campaign to slowly stifle our civilization by having us, by providing free contraceptive pills. It's a way of making sure there's less of our society so that Sharia law can take over.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one point. I'm sure that's what Pence was like. He's ready. That's tomorrow, right? Or Steve King. That's what he's going to say tomorrow.